Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Synergy. We're still working on getting the scientific district off the ground. We need 15 more rocks to be delivered. We're out of rock? What? Oh, we're out of rock in our inventory, I see. There's definitely rock out here. At least one pile of rock. Wasn't there another? I was gonna say, there is another rocky amalgam out here, but it's like tucked away behind this extra small river. But we definitely want to bring the rocks back. We don't want to let those expire and deteriorate. That'd be no good. Water production is doing great. We got that set up last episode. Food is doing just fine. We're still trying to figure out exactly what we want to make as far as, or utilize as far as, like resources go for making simple meals. Right now, we're smashing a bunch of seeds into oatmeal or something. I would love to be able to get the vegetable production off the ground, but for whatever reason, even though it technically says picking these things will give us vegetables, so far I've only seen seeds being gathered when we pick the wigged lotus. But honestly, that's okay because we're using the seeds to make oatmeal. So it is what it is. These guys are continuing to learn the Hall of Wisdom. That will be done very shortly. And right now, actually. So let's go ahead and build the Hall of Wisdom, because the thing that we need to get our hands on is the level of understanding, which allows us to do the environmental impact. While they're... Oh, that's right. I really want to get this done because I think getting our hands on the well is useful, but also getting our hands on the thermal basin thing, also very good. A good source of water. But in the meantime, oh, we actually don't have any bark. Okay, so let's take our people out of here. Let's leave one guy, and then go ahead and rip out something that gives us bark. Honestly, come over here, grab this really far away cactus shrub, and bring back the bark so I can start working on the arborist's tent. And then in the meantime, we would love to get our hands on the Hall of Wisdom. I would like to set the Hall of Wisdom up over here. Ideally, I would love to get kind of a district for cultures set up kind of amongst the sunshade trees. Long term, I think that would be really good for our people's, like, happiness. So let's set up the Hall of Wisdom here. And then we'll probably move the Picker's Cabin eventually, and then set up the cultural square, like, there. And then being amongst all of the shade trees and then these other plants, I think that would just be good for the culture, in general. Somebody get out here and get this bark so I can keep my research guy happy. These guys are building the market square. Can't remember what the scientific district does for us. I don't think it speeds up science. Oh, it just adds knowledge. Fantastic. That's actually really good. And then this square being here, or this square being over here, they might cannibalize just a little bit, but I think overall they're actually pretty well spaced over here. And then if we ever decide to do like a harbor over here, I don't remember exactly what the harbor does. Oh, building production costs less water. Actually, that's pretty sick. Right here would, or maybe here. Well, this thing's in the way. I think right here would be pretty good for that. So we might consider doing that. This guy's hauling back the bark. How much do you got? You got 8. Fantastic. That's enough. That's what we needed. So the weather station, the experimental laboratory, you get your pharmaceutical buildings, and then I don't think there's a sand extractor around. And there's no well, and the water condenser is just outside as well, so unfortunate we don't really have good access to any of these buildings, but that's fine. Hey, cactus shrub is actually a positive, so we should let those kind of grow in here as well. So we should have the bark now. Sure do. All right, start research. It's gonna take them 40 days. Okay, let's put one more person back in there. And then you guys, what do you need for this? It's rock and bark, which we don't have a lot of bark. How do you get bark from these guys? Is it trimming? It sure is. Well, you picked a lot of fruit. Okay, why don't we swap out for now from picking and have you gather just as much bark as you can get your hands on. Actually, get us some thorns, too. Actually, just, like, do all sorts of stuff. Get all these rocks. Look at all the thorns available out there. This person's going to be very busy. Yeah, we definitely need more bark. I don't think I can get bark from the sunshade tree right now. Maybe if we get our hands on the arborist's, stuff, or the arborist's workshop, we might be able to get bark from these, perhaps, with like the chopping action, or what is that? Something, because you have to research notching, which gives you resin generally, but I think like the default action from the arborist camp is like, it's the little hatchet action. In good health. Why do you look so small? Is it because you're new? Perhaps. Oh man, this person's doing great. Look at him go. Hold on. I wanted to see 7 per plant is pretty good. I'm used to like when they harvest the petrified giant, they get like 1 rock. Okay, so when they harvest them, they get really small and they look kind of brown and sickly. But overall, doing pretty good. And now we should have enough bark. We sure do. Fantastic. Woohoo! All right, now we're gonna be able to get environmental impact. Fantastic news. All right, we're low on materials again. But I think we did gather all the rocks from that rocky amalgam. Let's go ahead and rip out these 2 guys just to get our hands on 60 more rock. It'd be kind of cool if you could like be like, hey, let me know whenever the rocky emanation puts out a rocky amalgam, because I would love to get my hands on that stuff. It's the best source of rock in the game. Except maybe like the cave entrance over here. Oh, there's another one. Dude, this game is giving me all the rocks. Very good. Okay, get your hands on all the rocky amalgam out there. We are back in the dry season. We got 1 new child. That's partly why I was considering, like, we should get our hands on the rocky amalgam. Because I wanted to build more houses. Now, I see that all our people don't have any, like, heat protection. I think the only good way to counter that... Oh, well, we can do it with the sun awning, actually. Okay. So we definitely need to do this first in the Hall of Wisdom. But after we finish the environmental impact analysis, we might want to go for the sun awning, so we can drop some of those over here and kind of lower the temperature in all of these houses. They might get heat stroke if they eat in a house in a group of 55 degrees or more. At 70 degrees, it is guaranteed. That is not great, because all of these houses are at 71 degrees. Oh, wait. Is that the outside temperature? Ah, so the inside temperature is 56. So they're actually just a touch above it, which is unfortunate. But if we can get our hands on the sun awning, that would be pretty good. We got arboriculture. Is there anything useful that we should be going after? It's this guy, which we still haven't made tools for, I'm realizing. Well, the supply chain is probably a good one too. So let's go ahead and do that. And then let's get this one up and running again. I know we're low on citizens, even with the 3 that we just added. So that's a little unfortunate. But part of that is 4 of the people are building the Hall of Wisdom right now. So they'll be done very shortly. Ta-da! Okay. You guys... Oh, we need tools for that too. I'm an idiot. Alright, put 1 person in here. You spend your time working on tables, because they're free. Takes 5 days to do that. And then beyond that, this takes soft fibers. Do we even have a source of soft fibers around here? I do not know. But we should build the arborists thing as well, I'm realizing. Where is that? Flora. Here it is. Takes bark. That's fine. Ooh, I wonder if you get soft fibers from these guys, because they kind of look like truffula trees, right? From the Lorax. Right there is good. It's like close enough to be effective, but not so close that it's in the way. Alright, we're crafting tools. We have 5 available citizens. How are we doing on bark? None. We have no bark. Where are you going? Going to work. Okay. Alright, I was gonna chew you out, but not anymore. You're okay. Working on table. It'll take 18 days to make tables. Holy cow. But we still need the tools anyway. So maybe we'll boost tool production. And the research of the tables. So if we can get our hands on sun awning, that'd be good too. I really hope people don't get heat stroke because we don't have a way to treat that right now. Hey, the production of the tools is going much faster now. That's fantastic news. We should definitely chunk through so we get more tools. Oh, we already have 10 tools. When did that happen? Well, finish your assignment tower, and then we can talk about getting our hands on the thermal basin water, whatever. And then you guys, when you finish the table, I'll pivot you back to the environmental impact. Speed up time. Still waiting on a lot of the bark over here. What are you guys doing? Oh, I bet they're harvesting all these rocks out here. Sure are. And that's on me, because I told them to do that. I should actually, if I'm gonna maintain this desire to gather rocks the way I have, supply chain is done. Let's go ahead and build a road for them to at least get up into the rock zone. You guys are done, so I should have you advanced harvest methods. It's going to take you 20 days, but you have the tools necessary to do it. And now we have 20 tools, or 10 tools on hand as well. So let's kick somebody out of the tool zone. And then we'll build a resource tower down here. We're low on rock again. And part of that is because it got sucked into the tool making, but I think that's fine. You guys did harvest these guys. It would be so nice if they picked them up after they were done harvesting. Like, you'd think they'd have the wherewithal to do that, but apparently not. That's okay, though. I don't know how to make an AI that's smart enough to do that. I think they do that in RimWorld, though. I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Well... Still waiting on more bark. These guys are just wandering out into the desert to pick thorns. Maybe we should have you pivot off of normal stone craft. Oh, we don't have thorn crafting yet. Finished table. How long would it take to do... Takes 5 days to research sun outing. Okay, but we don't have access to the fibers yet anyway. So let's have you guys do environmental impact. It's going to take 20 days because we only have 2 people working in there. But honestly, that's fine. We can kind of slow walk it a little bit. Still gathering stone. Stone is important though, because we've been low on stone for a while as well. These guys are coming all the way out here to gather all the stone up. Most of the stone up. No! Somebody got heat exhaustion! Rats! That sucks, because I don't really have a good way to heal them. Build more infirmaries. Dang it! We were playing with fire too, especially because I have these people out here picking the wig lotus that was keeping people cool. Honestly, we should probably cancel... Oops. Well. Can I trim a wig lotus? No. Okay. We shouldn't have been picking these winged lotuses out here because they're providing a very useful buff for the surrounding houses. We should have been focused on just the ones that weren't close enough to the houses to do anything useful for them. And I'm not saying that would have solved the problem. You work in the forge. Is sick. Okay, are you gonna die on me, like, instantly? So we need healthcare, but we also need the remedy production. So we need to get 10 tools for that. So let's take you... Excuse me? Fostu is 2 people now? Alright, that's confusing. I don't think that's true. So infirmary. We should build you. You take rocks. We can build you kind of like centralized-ish. Maybe like that is good. I like that. Takes more rocks. We have 20 rocks on hand by some miracle. There's 2 rocks just sitting out here for some reason. Still not enough bark. 2 people have a heat exhaustion now. Oh my god, it's a disaster. Everybody's getting hot. We need to get this infirmary off the ground immediately. High priority. We need to make tools in order to make remedies. I think it's cooling balm is the thing that would allow us to fix the people. Man, these dry... We do have a good number of temperate seasons coming up, so we'll have a respite from the dry season. But man, we're getting hammered with the heat exhaustion early, which is not great, especially considering I kind of neglected my people's health when I took out the wig lotus the way I did. Yeah, and now the wig lotus growing has reduced the heat exhaustion in those houses. Okay, so heat exhaustion. We'll take 2 cooling balm. We have 20 in stock, thank God. And take Vashtu out of... out of there. Where are the other people that are sick? Gorita, you work in the harvest harvest zone. This is a high priority, guys. You cannot ignore the cooling balm. Can you guys go here? Oh, well, I guess you won't go until the cooling balm shows up. The person who needs treatment at the infirmary delivered the cooling balm. Okay, and Vastu, you absolute hero, trucking along, even though still suffering from heat exhaustion. Thank God we don't have the tools yet. Is there anything we could do in the meantime that's free? This takes 10, okay. Not 20, 10. Are you free? Has no resources. It's the exploration zone. I should have known that. And then once you guys are done... Malkion left to get... Oh, okay. So you were suffering from heat exhaustion. I'm hoping... And it is the case. Nobody else is living in any of the houses that are suffering from heat. And hopefully we can get through this next dry spell. There's only 6 more days. I'm hoping Vastu doesn't just keel over and die. Heat exhaustion can provoke chills, nausea, and heat rash. If it doesn't have a cool place to rest, their condition could worsen, which would go to heat stroke, which takes even longer to treat, and then could kill you. But nobody's suffering from heat stroke yet, so I think we'll pull out of it. We might need to use a lot of medicine to save Vastu from heat stroke if it gets to that bad, but right now we're doing okay. 5 days remaining on environmental impact. All right, we a little bit of trouble right away, but we managed to get out of it, I think. as the heat stroke guy keeps running around. Oh, he's ready to be treated. Please tell me you're going there. You are. Fantastic. Okay. We've saved our people for now. We finished the environmental impact survey. On to the sunshade awning. No, rats. Ah. Holy cow, how did we get so many tools all of a sudden? Cup of tea? I am tempted by the canteen. I'm also tempted by this guy because it doesn't take any research. Although we don't want to spend too much time researching something forever if we finally get our hands on soft fibers to make sun awning. All right, let's do the friendly meal at the canteen. And then let's get environmental impact rolling. We need to do 5 of them. Let's look at the lava tree. Let's look at this guy, this guy, this guy, and you know what? The truffula tree. What is that? Sunshade tree. And then we need to assign a person here. Kind of low on rocks still. Part of that is we're pulling a lot of rocks into tool production. So honestly, let's take that guy out of there. Because we have enough tools to kind of let us roll for now. So we'll get 2 people going in here. Because I'd really like to knock out this, this next step of scientific development here. Well, we should definitely have 2 people in the assignment tower. Because it can haul more stuff for us, which is very helpful. Alright, our child has grown. We are back into the temperate cycle. We have 3 temperate cycles up ahead. Things are looking pretty good now. I'd like to get somebody back in this picker's cabin so we can finally get the the bark that we needed forever ago. You guys are working on the explorer's hut too. I know we're low on people available. But maybe we pull a guy out of here, because we're not really utilizing the research right now. At least not driving towards any kind of, like, completion. So this is the thing that I was very tempted by. Oh, this thing just produces clean water on its own? The water in the thermal basins does not contain any pathogens, but it's way too hot to be drawn up with our bare hands. The condenser allows us to avoid any danger. Proliferation? Toxic to all plants. Increases the temperature, and then does add shadow, which is funny. Imposing presence? Ah, that is because they're smelly, that's right. Yeah, we don't want to mess with the volcano tree. We could rip it out if we so choose. And maybe we rip out this one because it is kind of close to our stuff. And it is kind of not great in general. But that's 1 out of 5 environmental impacts done, so that's good. Let's add the thorny bush to the environmental impact. See how it affects the rest of the environment. I am very tempted by the idea of the water condenser, and basically what I'm kind of thinking is it might be able to allow us to pull back like another person from this picker's cabin. I think we do it. Let's utilize the tools we have. Pull a person off of this picker's cabin. Let the water continue to roll, but, you know, let the water condenser just do some of the work for us. Wigged lotus adds well-being and organic matter and lowers temperature. We knew about that. Seem to flourish particularly well in the shade of the tree. Oh, I understand. So the wigged lotus only produces vegetables when it's in the shade of a tree. We've been picking it this whole time, being like, why are we only getting seeds? It's because they're not in the shade. Unfortunately, there's no wigged lotus out here. Oh, I'm dumb. I didn't realize that ripping out the cotton sprouts would have gotten us some soft fibers. Why don't we rip out like 2 of them to get our hands on the soft fibers so we can make those sun awnings, or at least research the sun awning. Waiting on builders. Yeah, we're just kind of busy. There's a lot of stuff going on and we don't have enough people in general. Got tree trunks, we got some bark. Let's build another house. Let's see, tree trunk house or bark house? We do have a good renewable resource of bark. Let's go for bark house. Toxic for cinder sprouts. I don't think there are any cinder sprouts on this. On this map. They only develop during the dry season. That's interesting. And then they are imposing presence, which stops the proliferation of invasive plants. There's a lot of stuff in this game that interacts that I was not aware of, which is really interesting. Like, if you get into the, like, you could theory craft, like, a way to like, plant petrified giant around the map to protect, you know, the ecology from the giant mushrooms, like, from the last map or whatever, that, like, ended up toxifying our whole area and killing all of our trees. But it's really interesting to see that side of the game that I didn't really get much into in the last map. Let's do a cotton sprout. We finally finished the arborist workshop. So pruning is the one I was thinking of. So prune big trees with precision, preserving their integrity. So that we're gonna want to come back to a lot of these trees, I think, and see what pruning does. So we can prune these sunshade trees. The cactus shrub provides well-being, organic matter, and negative temperature as well. Okay. Are there any cactus shrubs? Not quite. They're around, and there's a lot of them over here. So if, like, we build our houses in and around the cactus shrub, they'll all be relatively cool. So that's a good thing. But most of the cactus shrubs are pretty far out. So let's go ahead and do... I wonder, we'll wait and see what this environmental impact on the sunshade tree. I'm curious to see if that shows us what pruning does, or if it sticks to just how does it affect the environment. I don't know. Are there any other trees on this map that we could even prune? We did finish canteen researching. It kind of looks like it's limited to the sunshade tree. So I'm glad we built it where we built it. Can you prune at the picker's cabin? I don't think you can. We could just prune a tree and figure it out, but we also don't have any we don't have any spare people. So we'll leave that be for now. One more environmental analysis needed. Let's wait and see. Oh, and you guys definitely need to be working on this guy. Ah, we don't have the soft fibers yet. Clean water and tools. You could work on the Hall of Wisdom. I want you to hold off for a second, though. I would love for somebody to get out here and prune these cotton sprouts. Because I need those soft fibers. Very important. Did you guys build this yet? You did! Wow, every 5 days it just produces 10 water? That's awesome. I'm totally justified pulling those people out of there now. Every 5 days you produce 10 water. That's 80 water per cycle. This thing alone is keeping up with our water demand. We might be able to pull the 2 extra people out of the water production entirely for now. Let's see. Tools. Can't research any of that stuff yet. Could research notching, but that takes 20 tools. Rough. That also takes a bunch of tools. I guess the remedy production is the way to go. And it's useful. Could pull this person out of the infirmary right now, since there's nobody that needs treatment currently. And then you guys get out here and analyze this cotton plant. I would also love for the scientists to finally, like, turn in their findings about the sunshade tree so I can knock this scientific development out. Yes, thank you. We got... Okay, it doesn't tell us what pruning does. It does give us shadow, well-being, and organic matter. Extremely tall. Once at maturity, it takes much time to develop and scarcely proliferates. That's interesting. So it doesn't proliferate much on its own. We would have to help it. Microclimates. Now that we have a solid knowledge database about our environment, we need to start focusing on the microclimates in nearby areas. Providing our scientists with an explorer's hut would allow us to send out an expedition to explore swamps and dunes. Well, we did just research the explorer's hut. Where is that? Strategy? Yeah. Takes 20 bark. Which we have. Alright. Away to the dunes with you. I will build you next to the research house. Oops. Perfect. Alright, that's a great place to pause the episode. We definitely need to queue up, before I forget, we need to queue up the surface analysis of what pruning gets us from the sunshade tree. But for now, I think that's a great place to pause the episode. If you guys enjoyed, click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more episodes of Synergy or the other videos I have going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!